How's it going, everybody? Raising Hell here, and today I'm going to show you some pretty cool ways of dealing with Treeguards. So, in the first place, we have currently the ability to plant saplings around the Treeguards to pacify them. Probably the simplest way of dealing with a Treeguard, especially if you're not equipped to fight them. Simply plant some saplings down using pine cones, and any angered Treeguards will simply go to sleep around you. And when they do wake back up, they will not be aggressive towards you. So that's probably the fastest way of actually dealing with a Treeguard. Like I said, if you're not equipped to handle them, to fight them, or night is coming and you don't have the ability, you really don't want them running around after you around a campfire. That's just a recipe for disaster. Here we have the ability to put a Treeguard to sleep using sleep darts. It will take about 4 of them. Probably not the best because it's just a lot cheaper to put them to sleep using the pine cones, but it is an alternative for those who are looking for something different. Here we have the ability to freeze the Treeguard, similar to putting them to sleep, except it just freezes him, and then when he wakes or when he breaks out of his frozen state, he is no longer aggressive towards you, and he will just walk around like a normal Treeguard, oblivious to your activities, providing you do not aggro or cause him to aggro onto you again. Here we have the ability to use the pan flute to pacify the tree. It probably would be considered a waste of a pan flute, but the option once again is available to those who are interested in using it. Here we have the tried and true classic, attacking the Treeguard simply with a spear. This is an approach that most newcomers can actually use because all you really need is a log suit and a spear. A football helmet is also handy, but it is by no means a requirement. Simply dodge in, hit him the Treeguard about 3 times, and then run out of his range. So you're essentially kiting him here like most bosses, and it will take a little while to actually finish this off, of a few minutes, but if you start at dawn, you should have no trouble getting through this by the time dusk falls, even if you are playing during the winter season when days are extremely short. One thing to keep in mind, of course, is food to regain your sanity, because this is going to be something of a sanity drain. And also remember that you can always use the pine cones, demonstrated first, to pacify the Treeguard until dawn breaks and you actually have an opportunity to deal with him in the sunlight, in the daytime, when things are so much easier than at night. It's successful, it's simple. What more do you want? Here is something a little bit more exotic. We're going to start a whole bunch of Treeguards on fire. Yeah, this is going to be quite exciting. Here we have the fire staff, and I'm just throwing fireballs at pretty much all the Treeguards. They will start nearby things on fire. You can see the little saplings burning down. And here we have a huge bunch of Treeguards, essentially, all of them on fire. And it's going to get pretty exciting because apparently they create, like, the effect of them burning is amplified when there are multiple ones together. And this causes them to die much sooner than they would otherwise from fire. So maybe if you're taking out an entire swath of Treeguards in the Treeguard Haunted Forest, I forget the exact name of that, this could definitely be a strategy for that, because they all sort of keep the fire alive, and you just see them, just a ton of them fall right over. But in that forest, there is a lot of these Treeguards, and this would probably be a strategy best reserved for that area. And it is not apparent, and it is not included in every single map, so very limited use situations. Here we are using the weather pane against the Treeguard. Now, overall, it would require a couple of weather panes, so I would not recommend doing this. But the Treeguard is actually slow enough where the little tornado or the little hurricane, whatever you want to call that the weather pane throws out, actually manages to do a lot of damage to the Treeguard because the Treeguard doesn't really move anywhere. So, unfortunately, it's just more of a curiosity, more of an interesting attack than anything else. Not very practical at all, obviously, because weather panes are not very cheap, and you could easily just take care of him with a spear or a hand bat. So, just for funsies. And here we have another alternative way of burning up Treeguards. In this one, I am simply running around campfires and allowing the Treeguard to walk on top of the campfire and therefore set himself on fire. And he will pretty much march around as long as possible. He will not really avoid the fire, so you have to make sure to get him on top of it. And you have to use the basic fire pit, because the stone fire pit will actually prevent fire from spreading, and therefore the Treeguard can't catch on fire when walking over that one. Of this one, overall, it takes a bit of time to actually do and would probably be most effective if you also approached it with a spear as well. So if you could manage to kite him a little bit with this spear and log suit, while at the same time getting him to stand on top of a fire, that little bit of extra damage caused by the fire would go a long way towards reducing the amount of time needed to actually kill him using the spear. But by itself, simply setting him on fire is not very effective. As you can see, I wasted a good amount of time here just running around campfires trying to get him to kill himself by setting himself on fire all the time. And it took a long time, really. It was about 9 minutes, I think. So not a very good strategy overall. And lastly, here we have something for fun. I actually built a whole bunch of bug nets, and I'm actually whacking the Treeguard with the bug nets to see how long it would take to actually kill him with them. Now, all of this information is already preserved on the wiki for Don't Starve, but it's nice to actually see it in action, the craziness that would be associated with hitting him with so many bug nets. And of course, the greatest disadvantage to this is bug nets, they deteriorate very quickly. Like, you get 4 hits in before you have to build a new one. Yeah, so I went through a lot of bug nets here, obviously, and the best way to do this would have actually been have the command set up where I'd spawn all those nets down in my inventory right away. But instead, I didn't. I built each and every one of them. So you get to see me build them, you get to see me use them. It's a great big circle of life kind of thing. The reason that my character here is able to take pretty much unlimited damage is because I'm in God mode. This, once again, is another one of those scenarios that is just set up for fun and has no application in the actual game. There would be no situation where using this strategy would ever be viable, essentially. So anyway, those are some interesting Treeguard takedowns, I think. Obviously, the strongest synergy is with planting pine cones to pacify them and then probably going after them with simply the log suit and spear or equivalent weapon of your preference. This is not intended to be a comprehensive look at how you can take down a Treeguard. There are a myriad of ways, really, because Don't Starve has a lot of weapons, it has a lot of magical items, just in general, a lot of ways of accomplishing the same goal, albeit sometimes less efficiently. So for those of you who feel the need to point out that I did not include every single method, your point has already been acknowledged. So feel free to point that out again if you feel the reiteration of it makes it all the more potent, I guess. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.